So today topic is oral hypoglycemic agents. Okay, so as the name indicates, so these drug they can show the hypoglycemic effect, that is to decrease the blood sugar level, and these drug so they are administered by oral route. So that's why so these are known as the oral hypoglycemic agents. Regarding definitions, oral anti-hyperglycemic agents are oral hypoglycemic agents are the agents which can lower the blood sugar level in the blood. So they are commonly helpful for the treatment of the diabetes type 2, because the diabetes type 2 it occurs due to inactivity of the insulin on insulin receptors. So where the insulin was secreted, but that secreted insulin it does not bind on the insulin receptor. So due to that the blood sugar level was increases. So that can causes due to genetic factor, obese, or environmental toxins or peripheral insulin resistance. So that can be treated with the help of the group of drugs or agents, and such agents are known as the oral hypoglycemic agents or oral anti-hyperglycemic agents. Okay, so regarding diabetes type 2, so 90% of cases from the diabetes, so they are suffering from the type 2 diabetes mellitus. Only 10 to 20% those patients they are suffering from the type 1 diabetes mellitus. And regarding type 1, the type 1 it can occur in the any age, in the early age also it occurs. Just born child is also suffering from the diabetes mellitus, so that should be the type 1. But type 2 you should be remember, it always occurs in the human beings after 35 years or 40 years or in the adult, but in childhood it does not causes or it does not produces a disease. So that's why the diabetes mellitus type 2 is causes due to genetic factor or aging. So as the age is going on, so they are more risk factor for the to cause of the diabetes mellitus. Then as well as the uncontrolled body weight, that is obesity, that is also one of the responsible for to cause of the diabetes mellitus, because in the obesity the triglyceride fats are more, so they are acts as that is a source for the glucose. So that's why the sugar level is increases, and as well as it can causes the malfunctions of the certain cells or insulin receptors. So due to that, that candidate was suffering from the diabetes mellitus, and as well as it can causes due to peripheral insulin resistance. So where insulin is present, but due to genetic mutations on the insulin receptors, so those are present on the cells of the every tissues. So due to that inactivity of insulin receptor, so this insulin cannot be bind on those receptors. So due to that the glucose cannot be regulated by natural insulin in our body. So on that time we are suffering from the diabetes mellitus. So that kind of diabetes mellitus is known as the type 2 diabetes mellitus, or also known as the non-insulin diabetes mellitus. It can treated with the help of the oral hypoglycemic agent or oral anti-hyperglycemic agents. So regarding classification, so these are mainly classified into 7 class. So the first is the known as the sulfonylurea. So these sulfonylurea mainly enhance the insulin secretions. Its major mechanism is, so these drugs they are enhance the secretions of inhibins. Once again, the sulfonylurea, so they are mainly categorized into two types: first generation and second generation, on the basis of duration of action, on the basis of pharmacokinetic parameters, or on the basis of ADR. It means the first generation sulfonylurea they having the that the duration of action is a prolonged, so they required more time to show the some actions, or they having some particular type of the ADR, or their action should be the shorter. So due to that, once again scientists like you people they can discover the more drugs, and those drugs are they can categorize as a second generation. So whatever the problems of first generations are there, so all are overcome by the second generations. Then first generation examples are tolbutamide and chloropamide. And second generation glibenclamides, glipizide, glycazide, and as well as the glimepiride. So these drugs, so immediately when you are administered within 30 minutes, they can start to show that their actions as compared to first generation. And regarding ADR, so related to these drugs, the ADR is less as compared to first generation. And as well as that is a pharmacokinetics parameters is also is a good for second generation as compared to first generation. But regarding the pharmacological action mechanism, the both category drug they having the same pharmacological action and same mechanism of action. Both category drug they enhance the release of the insulin from the beta cells. And second category drugs, so those are known as the bigonades, that is the metformin, and as well as another one drug is there, fenformin. So this fenformin drug it is banned now. It should be banned in the year 2013 or 12 because so this fenformin is a potent drug to control the diabetes type 2 mellitus, but still it will be having the serious disorder. It can cause the failure of the heart commonly. So due to that, so this drug is banned, but it is successfully it can control the blood sugar level in the type 2 diabetes mellitus. But instead of this, so now in the market the metformin is available. So this metformin it can decrease the release of the glucose from the liver. Okay, that is mere mechanism. It can decrease the release of glucose from the liver. So due to that, the glucose availability in the blood can be decreases. So like that, the metformin it can helpful for the treatment of the hyperglycemia. Then third category, that is the meglitinides. Examples are the repaglinide and netiglinide. So these drugs, so their action similar to the sulfonylurea. It means so these drugs are also enhance the release of the insulin from the beta cells. And fourth category, that is known as the thiazolidine examples are the rosiglitazones and pioglitazone. So these two drugs, and here the pioglitazone it is banned nowadays in the just 4 year back. So this drug is the more sellable drug even, but due to a serious ADR regarding once again CVS, so these drugs is banned. Okay, so these drug, that is the thiazolidine diones, so they are mainly enhance the sensitivity of the insulin on a insulin receptor. Okay, so due to decrease the sensitivity or to cause of resistance, the diabetes mellitus occurs. But administration of these drugs, so whatever the insulin was secreted in our body, so that insulin successfully it can bind on the insulin receptor in the presence of the rosiglitazone and pioglitazone. So that's why they are enhance the binding capacity of the insulin on a insulin receptor. It is known as the to increase the sensitivity of the insulin. And fifth class, so those are known as the alpha glucosidase inhibitors. So it is one of the enzymes commonly seen in the intestine. It is helpful for metabolism of polysaccharide into monosaccharide like starch, cellulose into a glucose, fructose and galactose. So then only the glucose, fructose, galactose, so they are enter in the blood. That is the one functions of the alpha glucosidase enzyme. It can enhance the breakdown of polysaccharide into a monosaccharide. And second mechanism or action of this enzyme is it can enhance the permeability or penetrations or absorptions of the glucose from the intestines. So here the due to that the blood sugar level is increases. So more carbohydrate metabolism, more glucose is produces and more glucose is absorbed. So due to that the blood sugar level was increases. And here the drug like acarbose commonly in the market is known as the oglibose, then as well as the maglitol. So these drugs they are inhibit the alpha glucosidase enzyme in the intestine. So due to that they are inhibit the absorptions of the glucose from the small intestine. So due to this property they are helpful for treatment of the hyperglycemia. And sixth class, that is known as the dipeptidyl peptidase 4, that is also known as the DPP4 inhibitors. Example is a sitagliptin. So this enzyme DP4, it is responsible for metabolism of the incretins. So incretin is a one group of hormones. So they are secreted from the intestinal gland or wall of the intestine, and they enter in the pancreatic gland or enter in the beta cells where they enhance the release of the insulin. Okay, so here this enzyme, it can metabolize the incretins. So lack of incretin, the insulin cannot be released a sufficient quantity. Due to that, the hyperglycemia occurs, and drug like sitagliptin, it can inhibit the this enzyme and enhance the secretions of the insulin. And last class, that is glucagon like peptide GLP analog. So this is GLP-1. It is mainly, it can antagonize the action of glycogen. So glycogen, it is helpful, not glycogen, that is a glucagon hormone. So this glucagon, it can break down the glycogen into glucose, then enhance the blood sugar level. But this enzyme, it can inhibit the glucagon activity, then it can decrease the source of the glucose. So here the drug like extinide, it is similar to the glucagon like peptide, that is known as GLP-1. Then it can inhibit the action of the glucagon, like that it can decrease the source of the glucose. So like that, the oral hypoglycemic agents, so they are mainly classified into 7 class. So next one we learn regarding, so that is the mechanism of actions of oral hypoglycemic agent. So before that, we should be know how the blood sugar level was increased in our body. Okay, first mechanism, the sugar level is increases due to lack of insulin secretion from the pancreatic gland or beta cells, due to any problem in the beta cells, or due to oxidation or obesity or any other problem, or entry of free radicals. So on that condition, the beta cells is not secrete the insulin. So due to lack of insulin, the blood sugar level is increased. This is the first mechanism for regarding increase the blood sugar level. And second mechanism, increase the hepatic glucose output. It means inside the liver, the gluconeogenesis is occurs or glycogenolysis is occurs due to any reasons. That is the breakdown of glycogen into glucose or formations of the glucose from non-carbohydrate source by utilizations of the, that is amino acids and fatty acids. This is known as the gluconeogenesis. So that is increases. So due to that, the release of glucose from liver is also increases. So that is known as that, to increase the hepatic glucose output. This is also responsible for to increase the blood sugar level. And the third mechanism for elevated sugar level is, that is the to decrease the activity of insulin on insulin receptor, or insulin fail to bind on the insulin receptor. So due to that also, the blood sugar level is increases. Then another reason for increase the blood sugar level is, that is increase the activity of alpha glucosidase enzyme in the small intestine. So this enzyme enhance the absorptions of glucose as well as metabolism of polysaccharide into monosaccharide. So due to that also, to increase the activity of this enzyme, the blood sugar level is also increases. Or the fifth mechanism is, a reason is, to enhance the activity of SGLT2, that is sodium glucose co-transport 2. So this channel helpful for entry of the glucose along with the sodium. First, sodium is reabsorbed in the kidney. Whatever the glucose is enter in the urine, so that glucose will be reabsorbed through a certain channels. So those channels are known as the sodium glucose co-transport. Co-transport means same direction the movement is present. First, sodium will be reabsorbed, and then sodium will be enter into blood from the urine. So due to entry of sodium, some ATP was produced. So that ATP is helpful for the entry or reabsorption of the glucose in the kidney from urine into the blood. That is known as the that is the tubular reabsorption process for sodium and glucose. Okay, if its activity is increases, then also the more glucose is reabsorbed. So then gradually the sugar level was increases. So that is another reason, due to overactivations of SGLT2 channels. Due to that, the more glucose can be reabsorbed from the kidney. Due to that reason, the blood sugar level is also increases. And last phenomena or reason for increase the blood sugar level is to increase the activity of DPP4, that is a dipeptidyl peptidase 4 enzyme. So this enzyme, if its activity increases means, so this enzyme mainly metabolize the incretin derivatives like glucagon like peptide 1 and as well as the GIP, that is a gastric inhibitory peptide. So this gastric inhibitory peptide, it can, okay, so this GIP, it can release in the duodenum and it can inhibit the secretions of the gastric juice. Okay, it's actually main mechanism. It is released in the duodenum. Its major function, it can control the secretions from the stomach glands, or it can mainly inhibit. And this hormone releases in the duodenum when food is came from stomach into the duodenums. So then the duodenum releases GIP, or wall of the duodenum releases the gastric inhibitory peptide. So this peptide mainly inhibit the secretions from the stomach. Okay, and but another mechanism, same GIP is acts on the pancreatic gland or on the beta cell. It can enhance the secretions of insulin, and as well as, so this glucagon like peptide 1, it is also secreted from the endochromaffin cells of the small intestine. Small intestine से secrete होता है. So this GLP also regulate the motility of the intestine, helpful for digestion. But same GLP-1, it is also acts on the alpha cells where it can inhibit the release of glucagon. So due to lack of glucagon, the glycogen cannot be metabolized. And second, same GLP like GIP, it is also enhance the insulin secretions. But so this enzyme, it can metabolize the or inactivate the GIP and glucagon like peptide 1. So due to that, the sugar level was increased. So these are the possible mechanism for to elevate the sugar levels. If any oral hypoglycemic agent is there, if it is control the sugar level, then it can act any one of the mechanisms or mix of mechanism. Either it can enhance the insulin secretion, or it can decrease the hepatic glucose, or it can enhance the insulin sensitivity, or it can inhibit the activity of alpha glycosylation enzyme, or it can inhibit the activity of SGL2 transport, or it can inhibit the activity of DP4. So due to that, they can show the hypoglycemic effect. That is, this is the possible mechanism of the oral hypoglycemic agents. So now we can learn regarding the detail. That is the first class drug, that is the sulfonylurea. Example is glimepiride and meglitide like repaglinide. So these drugs, they are enhance the insulin secretion and control the blood sugar level. Because so these drugs, so they are mainly acts on the sulfonylurea receptors. So those are present in the beta cells. Due to that, it can enhance the insulin secretion by blocking the potassium channels on the beta cells. So due to blocking of potassium channel beta cells by sulfonylurea, by acting on the SUR receptor, SUR, or also known as the sulfonylurea receptor, then they can enhance the insulin secretions. And second class, that is the meglitinides, that is the repaglinide, it is also acts on the same sulfonylurea receptor, and it is also block the potassium channel and enhance the insulin secretion. This is the mechanism of sulfonylureas and as well as the meglitinides. And second category drug, that is the biogonades. Example is a metformins. Okay, example is metformin, that is a biogonad. So these metformin, first it can decrease the output of glucose from the liver. Okay, so it is the first mechanism is it can act on the liver cell where it can inhibit the breakdown of the glycogen into glucose, as well as it can inhibit the synthesis of the glucose from the non-carbohydrate source. So due to blocking of these two action, the hepatic glucose output can be decreases. So due to that, they can control the blood sugar level. And second mechanism of these drugs, the metformin is also enhance the sensitivity of the insulin on insulin receptors. So due to that, it is one of the potent drug. It is helpful for the treatment of the diabetes type 2 mellitus, or it is commonly seen in the all the prescription for treatment of the type 2 diabetes mellitus. Okay, then the third mechanism, that is the thiazodones. Example is a pioglitazones. So this is enhance the sensitivity of the insulin on the insulin receptors. So these insulin receptors, so they are mainly present on the all the cells, including adipose cells, muscle cells, liver cells. So where insulin can bind, or these drugs enhance the binding capacity of insulin on those insulin receptors. So to binding of insulin and insulin receptor, the glucose will be uptake more by those cells. Then gradually the glucose can enter inside the cell and it can subject it to the glycolysis. So like that, the blood sugar level is decreases. And that is the fourth class, that is acarbose or maglitol, are also in commonly in the market, that is known as the oglibose. So these drugs, so they are inhibit the alpha glucosidase enzyme activity. So due to that, they can break the, or they can inhibit the breakdown of polysaccharide into monosaccharide, and as well as they are inhibit the absorptions of glucose from the small intestine. The next category drugs mechanism, that is the SGLT2 inhibitor. Example is a Inovocana. So this drug, they are mainly block the this co-transport receptor, that is sodium glucose co-transport receptor. Due to blocking of this receptor channels, the sodium as well as glucose cannot be reabsorbed. Okay, so they cannot be reabsorbed and back into the blood. So due to that, they also decreases the blood sugar level by inhibiting the sodium glucose co-transport to channels. Then last, that is the DPP4 inhibitors. Example is a sitagliptins. So these drug, they mainly inhibit the activity of DP4 enzyme, and they inhibit the metabolism of GLP1 and GIP. So due to presence of glucose, that is GLP1 and GIP, they act on the pancreatic gland and enhance the release of insulin. So like that, so these are the possible mechanism of the oral hypoglycemic agents. Okay, so are you clear? So first category drug, that is the sulfonylureas, chloropropamide, tolbutamide, glipizide, glimepiride. So this mechanism is, so they can stimulate the insulin release from the pancreatic beta cell by inhibiting the ATP dependent potassium channel. So these channels, so they are present in the beta cells. By blockage of these channels, the depolarization is occurs, and that depolarization, it can causes the accumulations of the calcium. So due to accumulations of calcium, exocytosis is occurs. So due to exocytosis, the insulin is releases. So like that, so these drug, so they are block the ATP channel, the ATP channels, that is the ATP dependent potassium channel, and enhance the release of the insulin. And these drugs, they are mainly cause area like nausea, skin reactions, photosensitivity, then abnormal and poor outcomes after the MI. It means, so these drugs do not give to the those patients they are suffering from the myocardial infarction. And benefits of these category drug is, so they can alone, they can decrease the 20% of the glucose. Okay, so they can decrease the 20% of glucose. So that's why they are commonly used for treatment of the hyperglycemia. Then second category drug, that is meglitinide. Examples are the repaglinide, then as well as the netiglinide. So these are also stimulate the release of insulin similar to the sulfonylurea by acting on the sulfonylurea receptor. Those are known as the SUR receptors. Okay, so where they can bind on the SUR receptors or sulfonylurea receptor. So these are also causes similar ADR like the sulfonylurea, but they are clinically efficacy similar to the sulfonylurea. It means either use the sulfonylurea or you can use the meglitinides. You cannot use the both because both mechanism, both efficacy was the same. Then next category drug biguanides like metformin. Before that, the fenformin is the popular drug, but that was the banned due to serious failure or heart failures. So the metformin mechanism is it can decrease the hepatic output, and second is it can enhance the insulin sensitivity in muscles and liver, and third mechanism is it is also having the anti-lipolytic effect which can decrease the amount of free fatty acids. So due to that, the metformin is commonly seen in the treatment of the diabetes mellitus, and these drugs they are mainly causes the lactic acidosis or renal insufficiency, liver disease, heart failure, hypotoxicity, then hemodynamic instability and GI effects like a metallic taste, nausea, and diarrhea. If they occur, mean you can consult to the doctor. So these drugs they also decrease the 20% of the glucose. If you are using along with sulfonylurea means the 40% of glucose level can be decreases, and they are effective in both obese and as well as the non-obese patients. So next fourth category, that is the thiolididones. That is the example the rosiglitazones and pioglitazones. So these are enhance the sensitivity of the insulin on a muscles and liver cells and decrease the productions of glucose. Then ADR they can causes weight gain, fluid retention, then as well as the sodium reabsorption, and they can causes the heart failure. So these drugs, so they are used along with the above drug. They are favorable for in the lipid profile. If any patient having the high lipid in the blood, so then you can prefer the these drugs. They can correct the lipid profile as well as to control the high blood sugar level. The next category drugs, that is the alpha glycosidase inhibitor. Example is acarbose, commonly known as the oglibose, then as well as miglitols. So they are inhibit the GI alpha glycosidase, which can convert carbohydrates into monosaccharides, and as well as they can inhibit the that is absorption of glucose from the small intestine. So these two mechanisms they are helpful for to decrease the elevated blood sugar level. And these drugs, so they can cause the ADR like a flatulence, that is the gas in the intestine, and as well as they can cause the diarrhea. Okay, so then so their action they should be slow, limits the postprandial glucose level also, then as well as so they may increase the insulin sensitivity. So that's they commonly used in the treatment of that is the high sugar level. Then as well as next one is the incretin agents, that is DP4 inhibitors like sitagliptin. Its mechanism is it can inhibit the degradation of the insulin and enhance the insulin secretions. And GLP-1 agonist, that is the actinide, dulaglutide, then actinide, then liraglutide, then semaglutide. So these drugs, so they can mimic the actions of the GLP-1 and enhance the release of insulin and inhibit the release of the glucagons. And ADR they can cause the anxiety, blurred vision, chills, cold sweats, confusion, cool, as well as the depression and dizziness. And these drugs they can decrease the, that is the first DP4 inhibitor, they can decrease the HB1 level, that is 0.5 to 1%. Then regarding the second category drug, they can decrease the HbA level 1 to 15%. Then last category are new drugs. So those are known as the sodium glucose co-transport 2 inhibitors. Example is Invokana. So they can decrease the renal reabsorption by blocking the this channel, that is SGLT2. Then these drugs are also lowers the HbA1 level by 1%. These are main beneficial to control the uncontrolled sugar level in the diabetes mellitus. So this is the pharmacology of the that is important oral hypoglycemic agent. So regarding pharmacological action, so these are acts on the liver. So where they inhibit the that is the release of the glucose from the glycogen and non-carbohydrate source, and as well as they enhance the formations of the fatty acids. No, they block. Okay. So the next one is, so these are also acts on the adipose tissues, where also they can block the formations of glucose, and as well as so they acts on the muscle cells of the other body, where also they can inhibit the source of glucose by blocking the breakdown of glycogen into glucose, and as well as the formations of glucose from the non-carbohydrate source. And ADR, so they can cause the anxiety, depression, confusion, or even hypoglycemia. Okay.